Okay, tell me if you have any question from previous class, or we should start the new things.
Hello, sir, it's Supavan.
Yeah, Shushavan, tell me.
Sir, in previous class we have seen that in a class, within a class, we have different member variables and as well as member methods. And
Right.
sir, here we have defined variables outside the method and inside the method. Sir, what is the, sir, you told in previous class that there is a lifetime in uh, variables we are declaring in there. Sir, what is the difference between one is declaring a variable outside the method and inside the method, sir?
Right. So, if we are just defining a variable at class level, like within the class, but outside the method, that means we are actually like whenever we would be creating the object, we will get those copies. But if I am defining any variable within a method, then that variable can be accessed within that method only, not outside that method. Like, say, within a class, we have written two different methods. Okay. And I have just defined two variables at class level and one variable in first method. So the variable, say the name of the variable is C. If I have defined a variable C within first class, then first method, then from second method, I cannot access variable C. So the lifetime of a variable is within the body. It is actually defined within that second bracket. I'm just showing you as well. Let me log in quickly. So let me share my screen. By the way, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So say like integer a and b I have defined at class level. Class level means within the class itself, not within any method. Okay. Now, say I am trying to define another where like I am trying to access it from second variable. So here, if I am trying to d equals to c, it will not uh, it will not work. Look, the error is at line D, line 14. There is variable does not exist, C. So C is defined within this method. So when I am trying to write another method, from that method, C is not accessible because it cannot see C. The lifetime of C expired with this second bracket, because I have defined this within this method itself. But I can assign it by A. It is gone because A is at class level, right? Sushon, got the difference?
Yes, sir, I have got it. Sir, I have another question.
Yeah.
Sir, we have defined member method. Sir, can we define a function within a class? If we define a function within a class, then what is the basic difference between the method and the function?
Method and function both are same thing. Okay. So in the world of Java, functions are called methods, and in more like I would say C, C++, in these languages, this is called function. So both the things are the same. It is not different, right?
Yes, sir.
Any other question? Have you all gone through the trailheads and whatever we have shared last week? Should I take that as yes? আরে কেউ তো বলো,
Yes, sir.
মোটামুটি দেখেছো সবাই? If there
Yes,
is
sir.
any issue, then there is no point to move ahead.
Sir,
Yes,
আর
sir.
কিছু
No.
প্রবলেম নেই।
Okay.
Also, you
Then
can check and ask questions from them so that you can understand. I don't think they have gone through all the videos. You just check
actually
one.
it will,
And
yeah, actually it will be exposed like when I will move along, like পরের ক্লাসগুলোতে যেটা হবে, যদি
hmm,
ফার্স্ট জিনিসগুলো না বোঝে পরের গুলো বুঝবে না।
correct, correct. আর এটা এই ভিডিও দেখা টাইপের হবে। দেখো তোমরা মানে যদি কোথাও বুঝতে না পারো বা না পড়ে থাকো, পরিষ্কার ক্লাসে এসে বলো বা মানে ডিসকাস করো অমর্ত্যর সাথে। আদারওয়াইজ এই ক্লাসের পর ক্লাস হয়ে যাবে, তোমরা কিন্তু বুঝবে না। এই আগের ক্লাসে ওই সেম প্রবলেম হয়েছে, ওই ক্লাস অ্যাটেন্ড করেছে কিন্তু আলটিমেটলি অ্যাট দ্য এন্ড অফ দ্য কোর্সেস মানে গুটি কতক ছেলে মেয়েরাই কিন্তু ডেভেলপমেন্টে মুভ করতে পারছে। তো তোমাদেরও সময় নষ্ট, অমর্ত্যরও সময় নষ্ট, আমাদেরও সময় নষ্ট। তো প্লিজ ডিসকাস এবং বি ট্রান্সপারেন্ট। যদি অসুবিধে থাকে, কোথাও আটকায়, বা যদি মনে হয় একটা উইক গ্যাপ দিতে, প্লিজ বলো সেটা। আদারওয়াইজ আমরা বুঝতে পারবো না যে তোমরা কি করছো না। আমি তো এখানে আমি নাম করতে চাইছি না, কিন্তু আমি অনেকেই, আমি না যারা আজকে জয়েন করেছে অনেকেই দেখেই বুঝতে পারছি যে এরা খুলেও দেখেনি আর কি, সিনেমার মতো করে ভিডিও গুলো দেখছে। তো
হ্যাঁ,
যদি
মানে
তোমরা
টাইম যদি ব্যাপারটা
বলো।
এরকম হয় যে কোনো জিনিস রিপিট করতে হবে, তাহলে সেটাও তো জানতে হবে, না হলে মানে
Correct, correct, correct.
সেটা তো বুঝে যাবে না, না?
আর
বিকজ
তোমরা যদি কিছু না না বলো, ইন দ্যাট কেস অমর্ত্য উইল আস্ক কোয়েশ্চেন্স, এবং ইফ ইউ ক্যানট অ্যান্সার দেন উই উইল আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড দ্যাট তুমি আমাদের বোকা বানাচ্ছ, এবং নেক্সট ক্লাস থেকে ব্লক করবো তোমাদের। কারণ বেসিক দুটো তিনটে ক্লাস যদি তোমাদের কাছে সত্যি ক্লিয়ার না থাকে, ফোর্থ ফিফথ সেভেন্থ এইট ইলেভেন্থ ক্লাস করেই বা তোমরা কি করবে, তাই না? তার থেকে বেটার পরের ক্লাস, পরের সেশনটা জয়েন করো, বা দুটো সপ্তাহ অফ, মানে আমরা পুরোনো ক্লাসগুলোতেই ডিসকাশন করে আবার উই উইল কাম ব্যাক উইথ দ্য নেক্সট সেশন। তো তোমাদের হাতে ছাড়লাম। যদি তোমরা নিজেরা ডিক্লেয়ার করো বা মনে করো যে না আমরা সত্যি পড়ছি বা আমরা বুঝেছি বা আমরা সময় দিচ্ছি, নাথিং লাইক ইট, তাহলে তো আর এই কথাগুলোর কোনো মানে হয় না। তো ইদার ইউ মানে কাম আপ অর এলস অমর্ত্য উইল আস্ক কোয়েশ্চেন্স, নাম ধরে ধরে র্যান্ডাম, এবং ও তো চাল টিপলেই বুঝতে পারবে হাত হয়েছে কি। তো তোমরা যদি কোনো অ্যান্সার না করো, উই অ্যাজিউম যে তোমরা সবই বুঝেছো এবং সবই মোটামুটি প্রিপেয়ার হয়েছো। অমর্ত্য তোমার হাতে ছাড়লাম, দেখে নাও।
ঠিক আছে, আমি আজকে করব না, নেক্সট ডে সেক্ষেত্রে আই উইল ডু দ্য সেম থিং, মানে যেটা তুমি
হ্যাঁ,
বলছো।
কারেক্ট,
কারণ
একদম
তা না হলে তারপরে মুভ করার কোনো মানে হয় না।
এগ্রিড।
ওকে, তাহলে আমরা এখনো অবধি কি কি দেখেছিলাম? ফার্স্ট থিং ইজ দ্যাট ক্লাস কি, মেথড কি, ভ্যারিয়েবল কিভাবে ডিফাইন্ড হয়। সেকেন্ড, যেটা আমরা আহ, এছাড়াও দেখেছিলাম সেটা হচ্ছে যে মানে বুঝবার চেষ্টা করেছিলাম what is the structure of a class or what is the structure of a method, actually where we should uh, consider that the statement is completed in one line, and if that statement is completed in one line then semicolon থাকবে, otherwise semicolon থাকবে না। If that is actually defining the body of a of anything, then it will not be completed in that line, and that will be enclosed within parentheses. So that part, and before that we have tried to understand what is class and what is object. So I have shown how we can define object, and we can access uh, the member variables and member methods of a class. Okay, so till now that was the thing. So I will go into something else which is called if statement and for statement, for loop actually. If is statement, but for is loop. Why that is called loop, that we will come into. So important part is that till now what we haven't defined, uh, what we will define little more later, that is what is public and what is void. Like for a method, when I have written a method, I have told like it is void. So why it is void, and if it is not void then what else it can be. So this one we will discuss later. So for now, first let's try to look into the basic things like okay, let it be there. So what is the important thing till now is that we have seen the assignment and the simple arithmetic functionalities. That is, c is equal to a plus b. If I write c is equal to a plus b, and if I put this debug statement, then summation of a plus b will be my answer that will be printed here. In the same way, if I write something like c is equal to uh, a minus b, then also it is fine. Like we can just check what. If I am trying to do this as well, that is also possible, right? So whatever the answer is, that we will get here within value of c. But if I am trying to do this, a divided by b, so what will happen here? Except Sushobhon and Dipanjan, anyone else, tell me what will happen if I am trying to divide A by B and trying to store that in C. So both A and B are integers. Tell me, at least try what do you understand by this statement? I believe you have already looked into what are the types of variables, because those were already we have covered initially, and I have already given you the link for what are the data types. Second thing is that simple arithmetic operation, if I am trying to do that, what is going to happen? So the value of A is 12521, and value of B is within this method we have defined it as 10. So here it is 12521 divided by 10. So what is the answer of this? And I believe everybody know basic arithmetic functions, right? Okay, then I have to do that, which I don't want to do basically. Amit, tell me what will happen. What could be the value of C in this scenario? Okay, Arijit, I will come to you later. Amit, are you there or you are simply sleeping?
Hello. Yes, sir, I'm here.
Tell me what is the value of C here?
Value would be 1252.1 something. We have to write in double.
Okay, and why if I keep this as integer, then what will be the value of C? Any idea?
No, sir, I don't have it.
Okay, what you have told, that is correct. So if we have to actually look into this, and if we have to calculate the value of C, then ideally we should be define C as double. If we are not defining it, it will only take this value. If C is integer, if C is double, then it will be 0.1. Is it clear to everybody?
No, sir. So can you
No.
repeat this term?
Right. So important thing is that what we have defined till now, let's look into this and let execute it as well. Uh, what we are doing, we have done simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then division. Till multiplication, everything is whole number with these two values, right? The value of A is 12521, and value of B is this one where I have assigned it. So last time what I have assigned the value, that would be the value actually. Like even if I have assigned, if I put value here as 100, then also after this line, after this line, the value of B is 10. If I define something like here as b is equal to something, then we will take that new value. Anyway, uh, uh, I believe that part is clear to everybody. Like wherever I am assigning any value in any variable, from next line, the it will take that last value. Whatever the last value I have assigned, that will be the value of that variable. Now, till addition, subtraction, multiplication, nothing changed. Like all for all of them, the answer is in whole number. Okay, that is integer number. But when I am dividing, it is actually the actual answer for this one will come into fraction. Like the answer would be a fractional value, right? Like here it would be 12521 divided by 10. The actual value is 1252.1, right? This is the actual value. This point 1 means there is some precision, like it is not a whole number. So it has a whole number part, integer part, and it has a fractional part. This is the fractional part. So if I keep it like this, like only I am trying to assign this value in integer with this division, it will only take the whole number part. It will discard the precision, the digits after point. It will actually ignore it or omit it. Only this whole number part will be assigned here. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is one of the things. This is the basic uh, arithmetic program. Anyone saying anything? Arijit? Arijit, you raised hand
Yes,
and
sir. I
you were
was
in.
just about to answer that thing only. 12521. The two
Yeah,
point.
I got it. I got it. I will come to you with some other question later.
Sure, sir.
So important thing is that to understand this thing, like this variable assignment, with this variable assignment, whenever we are actually, anyone else, anything? Okay, no. So whenever we are assigning variable, we have to keep in mind like what kind of value we are going to deal with. If we are dealing with some fractional thing, then we have to define that as double. If I consider, if I think that that needs to be that value needs to be taken care of properly, in that situation it should be defined as double. Okay, now the other part of this, the next part, I would say, not the other part, the next part, what we are going to look into is we are going to check the basic conditional part. Conditional part means when we are writing program, there are different things which actually build or which are the basic constructs of a program. Like if there is any condition, if there is a situation where I have to check any condition, then how we can do that? Okay, so to address this thing, there is one thing called if. This is called if statement. How it is written? If is something like after this keyword if, I have to put some condition here, and that value must be like whatever value I am putting. Uh, what happened? Whenever I am putting this condition, that value can be either true or false. So anytime, whenever I am writing any condition, at that time this condition, the value of that condition, like after executing that value, the value can either be true or it can be false. So there is no other way, right? So there is only left side and right side of a road. So in this situation, we just need to use this thing called if. Like, say, mm, simple thing, this value, whether this value is even or odd. Okay, even or odd means whether this number, from logical perspective, how we understand that whether a number is even or odd, what is the condition? uh Anyone, or just tell me how we can understand whether a number is even or odd.
So if it's divisible by two, it's even.
Right, divisible by 2. So that means if I divide, a number by 2, then the answer will be like the it would be completely divisible, like the remainder would be 0, right? Otherwise the remainder, it will have some remainder whenever I am dividing something, some value with 2. Now we have already seen these 4 arithmetic operation. There is another one we can do, and here this is called modulus. A I forgot that the thing, or so it is the Java syntax. Let me take the syntax of math.mod. So in Java, we can just use this as a operator, but here we have to use some internal method. How that works? Let me check. Okay. So math.mod. For now, just take this math.mod as a syntax. Ideally, what is the scenario? Uh, this one I will explain, but you might not understand that clearly right now. So math is nothing but a class, internal predefined class of Apex. If we look into the uh, Apex guide, Apex developer guide, we will see that there are number of classes which are actually defined previously. Okay, that is to help, that is to do our uh, to help writing our code. So there are predefined classes and predefined methods. There are predefined variables as well. Okay, so those are actually in C++, what we used to say as library. Library means which is previously defined within that within that context, I would say. So that thing is here as well. which are actually predefined. So math is nothing but a class. Okay. And here class name dot method name, because this method is actually defined as static. Till now we haven't seen that, but there is a way to define a variable or any variable or method as static. So what is static? I will come to that later. uh, I will cover that on next class. For now we just need to understand couple of things what we were actually doing last day as well, that is understanding the concept of class and object. Like when we are defining object, how that is working. Like there are multiple say I am defining multiple objects of a class, then what will happen? Like all the variables, all the member variables, whatever I have defined at class level, those will actually create its physical copy within those objects. Like if I have defined three objects of first class, first CLS, it is not class, first CLS, say obj1, obj2, and obj3, then copy of A, B, and S, all these three variables will be created separately within obj1, obj2, and obj3. So if I call obj1 dot a, it will give the value whatever I have put in obj1 dot a. Say within obj1 I can assign these values as well. Okay. And from that is the same for obj2 and obj3. Like within obj3, if I am just trying to access the physical copy of b of obj3, then I have to write this syntax obj3 dot b. We have seen this in our last class. Now we will try to look into the same thing with this if. Okay. So c equals to math dot mod. This is a kind of function. Like what I have already told, this mod is a method of math class, and it is defined as static. So till now we know that we can access member variables and member methods with object, but there is another way of accessing or yes, there is another way of accessing member variables and member methods if those are declared as static. So just keep this, remember this word static. We will define it in more detail in next class. So for now just keep in mind that what, like if you already know Java, then like whatever we have got by this syntax in Java, the same thing we will get here. So math.mod will actually collect the remainder. If I divide a by b, then whatever the remainder is, that will be stored in C. And this math.mod, it returns whole number, that is integer. Okay. So this is one of the thing. Now there are other things as well by which, like with if, what we can do. For now let's look into very simple things, like better to go by this. Okay, with this thing I will come to that operator thing. A greater than b, we can write this. What is this and how it will work? To understand this statement, we have to understand couple of things before that. So till now, basically we have understood class, method, variable, local variable, that is local to some method, or class level variables, and how we can define object. The next tool which will create this building construct is operator. Okay. So what is operator? Operator means whatever operator means it will operate on something, as simple as that. Now what it will operate with, or on what it will operate and what it will do, it is depending upon whatever operators we have and whatever operators we can use in this language. So every language, some of, like, there are very basic and common operators are there. Okay, like these arithmetic operators: plus, minus, multiplication, division. So these are not only signs, these are the actual operators here. So what is the use of this plus operator? It will check the left hand side of the operator and it will check the right hand side of the operator, and then it will actually return the summation if these two values are uh, numeric values. Okay, numeric means if it is integer, double, or long, in that situation, it will actually do the summation. Summation means mathematical summation, numeric summation. Okay, so plus operator works with, that means it operates on two things, right? So that's why this is called a binary operator. Binary means two, like whatever operator is there in this language which works with two things, those are the binary operators. So operator, the functionality of this operator, these arithmetic operators, are that if these are actually numeric value, like for plus, minus, multiplication, if uh, it is numeric value, then it will actually sum it up. For plus operator, it will sum it up and return that result. This is important to understand, this return the result. Return means, I as it is returning some value, that's why we can store it in something. If it is not returning any value, then we cannot store it. And the type is also important. Like these two uh, variables, if I am just summing it up, then the summation, it will understand whether these two values are integer or not. If it is integer, this value a plus b, it will return integer value. If these a and b, these are double or long, then accordingly it will change its return. So it will not return integer if I am using double values here. Okay. Now, another point. This operator, think about the difference. This operator, that division operator, it will understand actually, like, my values, I am operating on two integer values probably, but my answer, or the actual value after doing this operation, can be double, can be floating point value. That is, it will have some precision after point. So this operator can return integer, can return double, obviously the other things as well. But here the conversion from integer to something else, uh, initially I have told you, right? Whenever I am defining any type of variable, at that time, the memory is also allocated with, like, some memory is associated with that variable as well, depending upon the size. So, anyway, in any memory space, whenever that is defined for any variable and the type of the variable is there, without typecasting, without making some other changes, or till that variable is dying, like variable is it is gone with its lifetime, that space is not cleared out, and that space is actually used for that same value, sorry, same type of value, I would say. Like, if a is integer, I can store 1 or 100 or 99, anything, but I cannot store 99.9 within a till it is defined as one integer. So that means this is this is very much typecasted, like which type of value I am having within a variable. So any operator working on that, it will consider those values. But there are few operators which will actually return the value. The return of that value can be of a different type. Okay. So just give me 1 minute. I'm just getting one call. I have to take it. Sorry, guys, I had to take that call. Anyway, um, so what I was saying, like these operators actually return specific types of values. For this plus operator, it is a special one, I would say, because except numeric values, I can just use it on strings as well. Like you can see this system.debug. System is also a class and debug is a method which actually prints that in the log. Same way, math.mod is another one. Now we are going to, let me check that. Not all of them I will cover. I will cover some of this, and you have the complete list here. So just wait a minute. I have given the link to you so that you can go through it. We will cover these operators one by one. Not all of them, most of them probably. And if I just explain, like there are different types of operators. If I just define those types, then you will understand this. Bitwise operator, I will not go for that right now. Anyway, that is not required right now. Bitwise operator we can understand later part. So these are actually arithmetic operators, and you can say these are binary operators, right? Same way, there are other binary operators like this A greater than B. So whenever you are looking into this greater than or greater than equal to or less than or less than equal to, all these are just keep in your mind that you are putting a question kind of thing where the answer can be yes or no. So these operators are actually conditional operators. These are actually called conditional operators. Whenever we have to check any condition, at that time we should be using this greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, or equal to equal to. Now look into this. Equal to and equal to equal to. These two are different operator. Okay. So this equal to operator is something which I have told previously. What it does, this equal to operator, last day I told that. Anyone tell me what it does? Orijit?
So it generates value.
Sorry?
It generates value.
It generates value.
The result.
Generates the result. Okay. No.
So
Anyone else?
it assigns.
Right. So here this equal to is called assignment operator. The name of this operator is actually in programming term, it is assignment operator. What it does, it assigns the value of right hand side. It assigns the value of whatever is in right hand side. It assigns the value to left hand side. So always remember, in mathematics, in algebra, you have written this kind of statement: a plus b equals to c. In algebra, it means equal to means value of right hand side and value of left hand side is equal. This is in algebra. But in programming, this is a wrong statement. This is a wrong statement. You cannot write this, because equal to is the here equal to means assignment operator. You are using assignment operator. That operator will actually assign the right hand value to left hand, like right hand side. Whatever I have, it will be assigned to left hand side. And when you are assigning something, where you can assign some value, you can assign some value in a variable only. That can be a different types of variables can be there, but you can only assign value within a variable. So that means variable or object, you might say variable or object. So object is nothing but a complex type of variable. Why I am saying complex, I will come to that again. But anyway, you can get that in your head till now if you have understood how class and object works. Like within one class, I can define different types of variables. Say I have defined one integer, one double, one string. And if I define one object of that class, in that object, I have three different types of variable within that object. So that's why I am saying it is a complex type of object. It is not a simple primitive type object. Sorry, primitive type variable. So object is a complex type of variable. Variable means, what is the meaning of variable? Variable means the value for which value can vary, value can change. Here, if I look into value of C, it is changing. Every time I am assigning value in C, the value is changing. A plus B, some value. A minus B is a different value. A multiplied by B is another value. Even if A divided by B, the whole part, that is another value. So I am assigning value to one variable. And why I am saying this is a variable? Because the value of this thing can change. That's why it is called variable, right? These are primitive type. When these are actually clubbed within one object, within one object, I can have different type of primitive variable, non-primitive variables as well. That means I am creating a copy of that, copy of all these things within one place, within one object. So that's why I'm saying that is a complex type of variable, you can say. Anyway, from understanding perspective, that is fine, but that is the definition of object is not exactly like that. But anyway, where we were, what we were looking into. So a plus b equals to c, we can write in mathematics, but not here, because in programming language, equal to does not mean that left hand side and right hand side values are equal. Here, equal to means I am assigning some value to my left hand side. Whatever is in my left hand side, I am assigning some value there. That is why equal to is called assignment operator. equal to is called assignment operator. But this equal to difference between this equal to and equal to is that this equal to is a condition checking operator. This the work or the responsibility or the functionality of equal to is that I will check whether my whether the value of left hand side and right hand side are equal or not. So this thing, this equal to operator can generate only two things, either true value or false value. In if I define any variable where I have to store only true or false value, what type of variable I have to define?
Fully answer.
Good. So that means it will return a boolean value, and if I have to assign this value, I have to define a boolean variable. Within that boolean variable I can assign this value, a equal to b, or a greater than equal to b, or a greater than b, or a less than b. So these operators, these condition checking operators are used within if. Why? I have told, like, if is something, if is a structure, it will execute if the condition value is true. Whatever condition I am trying to write, like this here, the syntax of if is something like that. If I have to write within first bracket, I have to write the condition. Here I have to mention the condition. Okay. And that condition, whatever condition I am defining, that should be, that can have only two values, true or false. If it is true, the body of the if, again I am saying this, body of if will be executed. Whatever system dot debug. If I am trying to write something, if I am writing this a greater than b, what will happen? Hmm, convert it to this. So so a greater than b, this will actually return true or false value. If it is true, then body of if will execute. I can write anything else here. I have written only system.debug. I can do some summation, addition, subtraction, anything I can do. But if, like, the condition, this condition is returning false value, what will happen? The next part of any if is else. Within else, we don't need to write any condition. Why we don't need to write any condition? We don't need to write any condition with else because we have already checked the condition in if. And if that was true, then only the previous part is executed. If not, then else part will be executed. B is greater than A, ideally, right? Till now, whatever I have told, just think from the previous things as well. Am I writing, am I putting semicolon after if? The answer is no. Why? Because it has a body. It is not completed in single line. Why? Because if this condition is true, then it will do something. I will write something else, and that will actually complete the body. If not, then it will be else. Like if the condition is false, then it will go to else. So either if or else will execute. Both cannot execute when you are writing any program. Keep in mind, you like if or else, both cannot execute at the same time. With different values, it can. If it is dynamic value, A and B you are taking dynamically, then the values of, depending upon the values of A and B, either if or else will be executed. In a single execution, both if and else cannot execute. Okay. Now, simple, simply from mathematical perspective, this statement B is greater than A, Abhijit, Sushobhan, Dipanjan, except you three. Anyone else, tell me, is this statement or whatever I have written here, is that holds good? If I am just putting this condition, A is greater than B, from your understanding, tell me, if I have written these statements, is these statements right or wrong? Can I say that B is greater than A with this condition, whatever if I have written? Yes, Abhishek.
No, sir. We can write that, or we can only write B is greater.
What we cannot write? Tell me.
Sir, no, in the first line we have written that A is greater than B,
Right.
and else we can write that B is greater.
B is greater than A. So is this the correct statement?
No, sir. We can write here is B is only greater. B is greater, bus. Then A is not needed.
Here only B and A are there. So obviously, if B has to be greater, it
Hmm.
needs to be greater than something else. But I am talking from mathematical perspective.
Hmm.
Okay. Is this statement holds good?
No, sir.
Okay, let me check. Who is this?
Show open, sir.
Yeah, sure. Tell me.
Because, sir, you just mentioned that A is greater than B. You
Hmm.
just mentioned.
Right.
So we can't, because there is not that you are not mentioned that B is greater than A over.
If I can assign any value, right? If A is 10 and if B equals to 8, in this situation, what will happen? A is greater than B, right? Here.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
So this condition will give you true value.
Yeah.
This thing will be printed.
So we should, sir, mention that else system.debug that the input is error like that or anything else. But we can mention that B is greater than A.
Sir, one value only
Let's let's
printed.
remove all these things, huh?
Sir, one value only printed because
Tell me anything.
sorry. Sir, one value only printed because of one value is true or another value is wrong.
Yes,
Yeah.
only that. That's what I have explained till now. That
Uh,
when you are executing a program,
A,
at the same time, if and else cannot execute.
yes,
Only
sir.
one part will,
One value is printed.
right? So either A will be greater than B or B will be greater than A. That is fine. Okay. Uh, with this system debug. But what I am trying to say is these statements completely correct, or if there is anything else.
A greater than B.
Tell
So
me what will
Sir,
happen.
so
sir, we can write here A less than B.
That is also fine, but I'm trying to say what will happen if I write A equals to 10 and B equals to 10. Which part will be executed in this if or else?
If part, sir.
If part will be executed. Who told
If
that?
sir, if sir B equals to 8, then sir.
Here the statement is A is greater than B.
Hmm.
If A is greater than B. Is
Hmm.
A greater than B?
So I
No,
think
sir.
nothing, sir, because of both are same.
No, right? Both are
Both are
Hmm.
same.
both are same. So I think nothing,
Okay.
nothing
So
printed.
that means this is not going to execute.
Yes,
This
sir.
if part is not going to execute. Then what will execute?
So else.
Just say,
Only else.
else.
Else
Second part.
we are not checking any condition, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means this part will be executed. So in that scenario, it will print B is greater than A. Is it clear for is it clear to everybody that in this condition, if A equals to 10 and B equals to 10, and this is my if condition. Oh, not a minute. Just give the 1 minute. So in this situation, obviously it will only execute else, because if this condition is not meeting, then only whatever is left for you, it will go to that part, that is the else part. So else part will be executed here. Is it clear to everybody, or I just need to execute this program and show you?
Yes, sir.
This is clear to everybody, right? If it is not clear,
Yes,
just
sir.
let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just clear.
Now what I am
Sir,
trying to
if
say. Mhm.
sir, if execute else part, then the statement B is greater than A is wrong now.
Exactly, that's what I am trying to ask. So if in this situation, if I am putting this, then logically this statement, programmatically there is nothing wrong, but logically it is wrong, right?
Yes, sir.
Whatever I am message I am putting, that will give wrong uh, understanding, that is logically. So this is called logical error. Whenever we are doing, like in program, I haven't given this semicolon, it will complain, it will give you this error here if I try to save it. Missing semicolon at B, anything, whatever it is saying, always look into this line number where you are getting this error. Keep that in mind. So here I haven't written anything wrong syntactically, right? That error is gone now. But logically, this is not right. What we can do with if and else, if I have to check multiple conditions, then I can do one thing that is called checking of else if. You just need to check the syntax here. Else if. So with else if, you can again check another condition. Here the condition what we have to check is A. How we can check A and B if A and B are equal? I have already mentioned.
A equals to B.
Good. And in that situation, what we can put A and so there will be situation where you might have to check conditions, multiple conditions in different segments, but within same block. In that situation, we will use if, else if, and else. Okay. But there are other conditions as well where I might have to check two conditions simultaneously. Just after this condition 1, I have to check another condition, that is condition 2. And then I have to check another thing, that is condition 3. Okay. That might be the scenario. Okay. At the same time, within this if, I can check another if. That can be another situation. Okay. Or within else, I can check another if. Those are called nested if. And if I am trying to put multiple conditions at the same line here, like within if, I will write these conditions. There is condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. These things we can write. Then we have to conjugate them, like how these conditions will work out. So within this, we have to put either or we have to put and condition. So it can be a mix and match, that some of the conditions are in or, some of the conditions are in and. So it has specific syntax and it has specific complexities. How these statements are written, we will look into that in next class. But probably next class I will move little faster from next class. So that's why I have asked like whether you are going through these things or not. Because next class probably I will cover both nested if and for, and probably not nested for, probably and for. So two complex things I will cover next class. So important thing is to understand those things, those parts. Only thing you have to remember right now, if there are multiple conditions we are checking within if, then also the final value of true or false will actually define which part of if will be executed. If I remove this else if part for now, uh, that logical glitch is there, I know right now, but just consider this as if and else for now. Within if there are multiple conditions, and with and or I am just combining them, then also the final result must be either true or false, and it will always be. You will look into this. That with depending on that final value, it can actually like whether the body of if or whether the body of else will be executed, that will be identified. Okay, so when we would be writing multiple conditions, be sure you put proper brackets there, because with this and or, which one will be first and which one be last, you cannot uh, control until and unless you are putting that within bracket. Why that is so? Because there is something called uh, I would say that is not the exact term, the order of execution. When you are writing these conditions, there are few things which will actually do, like there is a direction by which it is actually evaluated. Okay, and to keep that within your control, you have to put bracket which you want to execute separately or in segregation, and then you will try to combine that. So there will be different conditions, we can just look into that, but this is one of the important thing. Keep in mind, if you put one bracket here, then this or will be treated as a single condition, which will be and with. And means both the conditions need to be satisfied, and or means either of the conditions need to be satisfied. Okay, when I am putting and, that means it will evaluate this, it will evaluate this and bring true or false value. With that true or false value, that is outcome, say this is true, and then it will check this condition. If this value is also true, then true and true is true, true and false is false, false and true is false, false and false is always false. So depending upon the total evaluation, so the final value, if that is true, then only this part will be executed. If that is false, then final value of those conditions, after evaluating those conditions, then else will be executed. Okay, so I am keeping it till this point for today. Next class we will discuss how we can put this multiple condition, and if like how we can write nested if as well. If you have any question, just let me know. Till now, whatever we have discussed, if you haven't understood anything, or if you think there is something you just need to where is